welcome everyone to another session in the Colosseum. Today, I have a gentleman in the Colosseum who's come to sit down and have a conversation with us. Known his brother for a very long time. Before we get started, as we always have to do, touch base on the people who are making this possible. First and foremost, Mason Johnson, Beard Care Line, the Gentleman's Collection, beard balm and beard oil. Keep your beard nice and shiny, nice and healthy. All right. Also, the Zeus pre-workout. All right. One of the most intense pre-workouts you'll ever come across. Laser focus, intensity without the crash following. All right. So I have the link for both of those down below in the caption once we're done. But let's get started. So, known this brother for a long time, a few years to be exact. Good friend of mine, as well as I guess fellow competitor. This man is in the top 20 all time 242 weight class. I don't think you guys realize 242 pound weight class, powerlifting all time. All right, top 20. 2021 alone, top 9 in raw competitors. For you people who don't know what powerlifting is, when we talk about raw and classic raw, raw competitors mean that you squat and knee sleeves only. All right. For someone who's a everyday gym goer, it's like wearing, I don't know, knee sleeves. All right.
Right.
Number 9, 2021. All right, rankings. Number 6, 2021, ranked in classic raw. That's knee wraps. Now, the interesting thing about this is a lot of people either choose raw or classic raw to compete in, just across the board, period. This young man has competed in both in 2021 and ranked in the top 10 in both. That's stupid. It's crazy. All right. So my good friend, my brother, all right, Ronell Leftwich. All right.
My God.
So,
my
big
brother,
bro.
what's going on?
Know you for a while, man. Know you for a while. We've talked a little bit off camera. We've had conversations in the gym, training sessions, the whole 9. But I want to give you a chance to let the people who tune in know a little bit about you, who you are. We'll cover a lot of different topics today. But first and foremost, I don't even know this. Tell me, where are you from, bro? Where you from?
Originally,
like your beginnings. What are they?
Originally, I'm from DC.
Okay.
Yeah, but my pops, was military, so bounced around, man. Memphis, Rhode Island, Georgia. So, bounce around a little bit, man.
I did not know you from DC. So
yeah, that's home.
I gotta tell you, man. Only thing I know about DC outside of Capitol Hill and the nickname Chocolate City, ain't that right?
Chocolate City.
Right.
Chocolate City. Yeah.
And this is gonna be way off topic, but it's actually, I guess, kind of relatable because just most recently, the news has been in the underground sector of Alpo. All right, knocked off up in Harlem. So
Wayne Perry.
All right.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm going with, man. So that's crazy. I didn't know that about you, bro. So that's cool. DC, Memphis, Rhode Island. Dude, what's so? All right, Rhode Island. You gotta tell me, Rhode Island.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I liked it.
Okay.
I liked Rhode Island, and it's cool. It's no sales tax.
Okay.
So it's 99 cents. It's not $1.05. No, you getting your penny back.
It's funny, man, because there's a few states in the country that almost kind of see as their own country. Like, and Rhode Island is one of them. You got people like Rhode Island, Utah, places like that. It's like y'all just kind of out there.
Right? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I do have family. I have family from Rhode Island, man. So I've been up there when I was a kid, when I was real young. So I have very, very little memories of what it was like. But that's crazy. How old were you when you were on Rhode Island?
Oh man, that was 2001. That was actually when the towers fell.
Wow.
It was like that year. So I was up there then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remember like it was yesterday. Yeah, man.
And now you are in Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Atlanta, man. ATL.
So how long you been in Atlanta?
Oh man, I've been in Georgia for what, 15, 16 years now. Okay. Atlanta for about 12 of those years.
Yeah. So was it just one of those cases where there was a final stop for Pops, or you just something brought you down here, you just fell in love with it?
That was just Pops, man. It was his final stop, just crash here. So
I got you. What branch of the military your dad in?
Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, he did 30 years, something like that.
That's crazy. So you never had any
time.
You never had any interest in doing the military thing?
Nah, man. Me and him, we're like very similar in certain ways, but other ways it's like I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say like rebel, but I'm kind of do my own thing. I don't like just too much, I guess, structure over me. I like moving in my own little lane.
I feel so, I've always had a lot of respect for people in the military. God bless them. Anybody I see in the military who has served, I don't care if you're the reserve, whatever it is, like I always show mad love to them. But I also say to myself, I don't know if I was even tough enough to do the military, man. Like you said, it's that structure. And I hear all these horror stories, but I have family who served in the military. And even then, when I see them, I'm like, bro, I appreciate you, dog. Like even outside of being family, you know. So
and even just like listen to their stories, man. Like it's interesting, like hearing their point of view on why they went, because everyone has a different story why they went, and why they went. When they leave, it's always different. They always got so much from it. You know what I mean? Like they might have went in for the easy money. You know, I didn't want to go to school, whatever. But when they leave, they got something different out of it.
Yeah, it was great. And that's how most of my people are too. Dude, I had one family member who he went in at 18, I think it is. And of course, I can't say who he is, anything like that. But he's much older, way older than me. But like now he has a very, very high ranking, position in the military, and to watch him and how he went through it and how he navigated the whole thing. Everybody's not good enough to do that. And I shouldn't say not good enough. It takes a special type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Put it like that. It's not for everybody.
Exactly. So powerlifting, man, I just kind of went down some of the rankings. This is just 2021 alone. We talked a little bit off camera before we got started, just how long you've been in the game, which is not very long. So how long have you been powerlifting?
Oh man, my first meet was 2017.
Okay.
It was June 2017.
So it was
like a little bit over 4.
Yeah, so that's about a year before, just shy of a year before I met
you. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. And I mean, again, for people who don't know powerlifting, and then for those who do know powerlifting, you realize for him to have moved up the ranks in a 242 weight class of all weight classes is impressive in such a short period of time. I say that because the 220 and 242 weight class tend to be some of the most competitive.
There's some dogs in the weight class.
Yeah, it's some dogs.
It's some dogs.
It's some dogs. I mean, just rattle off a few people here in his weight class to give you an idea. You got Jamal Bronner. All right. All right. Say no more.
All right.
You got John Hack. All right. But John Hack, dude, he bounced around from so many weight classes. Oh, did he do 242 recently?
Nah, he did 198. He just beat everybody.
That's right.
He's an alien, bro. Like he's a damn alien, man.
It's so funny. His name came up in the conversation yesterday. I was at the gym, and the dude who referred to him, we called him just that. He called him an alien. He's like, dude, this bro, he's different. He's different, man. But the 242, 220 weight class is some of the more competitive weight classes, and this young man we're talking to right now has been able to amass some pretty nice meets and some nice rankings in a short period of time he's been in the game. I'm pretty sure he has a lot more time left in the game. What got you into powerlifting, bro?
Oh man, you know what? Growing up, my pops actually did bodybuilding when I was younger. So I was always around weights and the gym and everything. But me getting all buttered up, getting on stage, it's not me. It's just not me. You know me, so that's just not my personality, But hey, salute to them. But I've always been around that, played basketball in high school, played old college basketball, but I like training better than actually playing the game. I love working out, I love running and things like that. And then one day someone told me like, yo, try out powerlifting. I'm like, I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. I'm like, you know what, let me try it out.
Yeah.
Put my hat in the ring and, here we go.
Yeah, it's very similar to me, man. I grew up around a lot. My father, he never did anything competitively, but I'm sure you may have learned with your dad, man. In the 70s, 80s, that era especially, and even to the 90s, like being swole was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that was the thing. So my dad,
all
his homeboys, they go to the gym to kind of bro live. I guess they want to look good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Got them little stringers on.
Yeah.
Girls. Yeah.
And so I grew up around it too. And like you said, I grew up wanting to be a bodybuilder, to be honest with you. I admire Arnold. I admire, all those people, Dorian and Ronnie Coleman.
I was big on Flex Wheeler, man. I was real big on Flex.
Yeah, Flex was
I was the biggest Flex fan. Yeah.
And for me, it was very similar. Number one, they have the discipline, the diet discipline. They want to do a bodybuilder. So that's why I give them the utmost respect, man. I got a lot of good friends who are bodybuilders, and both sports have their I guess hardships, whatever. But bodybuilding definitely takes a different kind of mindset. But yeah, powerlifting was just my thing, bro. So I definitely get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So what put you over there? So you say, okay, I don't want to be a bodybuilder, but I want to powerlift. All right, I want to lift. I enjoy lifting. So for a lot of people, turn that switch from I enjoy lifting to I want to get on a platform in front of a few hundred people and either show or blow.
Exactly.
So what took you to that next level?
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, man, it was just like someone telling me try it out. I'm like, all right, I went on YouTube, watched some people, I saw Dan Green, Kevin Note, Pete Rubish, you know what I mean? Like the dogs of that era, like me watching them, you know what I'm saying? Yuri Belk, people like that. I'm watching these guys and I'm like, these dudes are crazy.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm even going to get nowhere near that. You know what I mean? Because I'm watching on YouTube, just chilling, throwing, my little push-ups, my little, don't say shit like that.
I got you.
And I'm like, I'm not going to get there.
Yeah.
And then, 4 or 5 years later, just keep building. Now I'm here, sharing the platform with these guys.
I was just about to ask you. So I was just about to say, so you watch these guys, they essentially, they encourage you, or should I say, you look at them, you kind of admire what they have going on. But now when you walk into a building and you look at the roster, you see that, two lifters ahead of you is Kevin Oak. You know what I mean? Or you sit backstage next to someone like a Yuri or these guys. So how do you feel now, looking at how far you come, and to be able to narrow the gap and be sitting next to guys who you thought initially like I could never be this strong? So how does that make you feel?
You know what, man? I most definitely admire their work. But I'm competitive. I'm gonna breathe the same air they're gonna breathe. You know what I'm saying? And when I go on that platform, like, I'm there to bust ass. Straight up. But I watch them coming up. I love what they do. But now we in the same platform, man.
Yeah.
I can't admire them too much because it's like I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's mad respect, but it's like
most definitely respect.
Yeah, but I'm here with you right now. We got to get at it. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, even if now if they're here and I'm still coming up, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm here right now. We're on the same platform, using the same bar, same rep, same weight, same crowd. I can't go into like a fan.
Yeah.
I'm against a lifter too, so I gotta go out there. I gotta lift.
Yeah.
But I still love those guys, man. Still love watching them, still watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when we're on that same platform, it's game time.
So tell me this, to give people give people who never competed. I hate saying the national stage because it makes people feel like competing at a local level isn't important, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Different between
right.
But give somebody an idea of being backstage at a meet like a showdown caliber meet or a national meet like a current caliber meet. You recently competed at the showdown. What's the energy like? Like, what's the energy like? And like, what's your mindset? Like, where's your zone at when you're backstage and you about to get ready to go up against the best, literally the best lifters in the world?
The best in the world, right? Oh man, it's like any other meet. Before that first squat, nervous. And for me going into this, showdown, people they wasn't checking for me. So I had no pressure at all. Like, that was one of the biggest meets, the biggest meet I've ever done. That was the least nervous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, like, whatever I do, I'm going to shock people. People are going to see what I'm doing. Doesn't matter what I do. And I had, numbers in my head, what I'm saying? Steve had things, lined up for me. And just went from there, man. I mean, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. It was dope. But I feel like now I've arrived because I feel like people have been sleeping on me.
Yeah.
This is the first big meet I've been invited to.
Yeah.
The first one.
We talked a little bit off camera before we got started. I watched you. I watched you come up, and there was a few times, like I just told you a moment ago, that I really wanted you to go ahead and just jump in at 5 because I knew you were ready.
Right.
But I always admire how patient you were in the process. I know you compete under Steve Goggins, for people who don't know, who a legend in the game. We'll touch on Steve in a minute. And I think Steve's done a real good job of like, maybe holding you back a bit. I don't want to say holding you back, but being patient with your progress. And I think seeing your full potential. And I'm very familiar with Steve's coaching style. As a few people know, he's one of my first coaches, and he's all about longevity in the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the fact he kind of brought you along. I think you're ready, and not in an arrogant way. And that's why I want to get you on the show, because I do think you're a force to be reckoned with in the sport. I think you're somebody who's gonna make the name, in the next few years until you're done and ready to hang it up. But I agree with you. I think the showdown was kind of your introduction to a lot of people. I think you gained a lot of respect. I've heard your name come up in a lot of conversations since the showdown, and it's been dope because you're my boy. So I'm happy for you. You know what I mean?
Right. And you know what, bro? It's just so humbling, man. Because really coming from nowhere, and then like now, I'm like there. You know what I mean? And my next meet, I got the personal invite from Garrett Figg. He said, "Yo, invites are done, but I want you to come to the hybrid." I'm like, bet. And the showdown was my first sleeve meet since 2017.
Yeah,
I've been doing raps ever since. So that was kind of cool for me. Pretty much my first, sleeve meet to do that. So that was cool.
Garrett's cool, man. I got a funny story I'll tell you about Garrett when we get off camera. Garrett, anyone in the sport knows Garrett Fear. He's an amazing dude. He's genuine as they come, but he's also brutally honest too. So you gotta love him.
For sure.
I hope I get him.
I know it was actually funny, man, because I seen Garrett MCing. I'm like, oh damn, he's gonna say something about me. I know for a fact. So after squats, I'm going to the bathroom, right? And I already watched the live stream back just to make sure he didn't say no crazy shit.
Yeah.
I saw him. I'm like, hey man, I think you feel not bash me too hard. He started laughing. Because you already know Garrett's gonna keep it real, man.
Yeah.
Garrett Fair keeps it real. Yeah.
So got a quick question for you, and I'm familiar with this style, if you want to call it. And people who watch your YouTube, and I'll make sure I'll add his YouTube handle in the caption for anyone who wants to go follow Ronell when we're done. But watch your YouTube, watch your IG handle, your IG videos. I'm sorry. A lot of people deadlift using a powder of some sort. All right, and for people, all right. So the reason for the powder when you deadlift is because normally any sticking points, all right, where the bar might stick is normally going to be around your thighs when you get above your knee. And so it's allowed in competition. It's very good. It's a common practice to use like a baby powder or some kind of a talcum powder just to help, get over the sticking point. You guys over at Goggins are some of the very few people I know who use baby oil. So baby oil, all right, or baby powder.
Right.
Which one's your preference and why? How about that?
Okay, so we use baby oil. Now,
so how did baby oil come to be? All right, there we go. Let's start there.
Okay, so Steve.
I know it. Yep.
If you make a mess anywhere in his gym, he's gonna text you, send you a picture of that shit, or something like, "Hey, who did this shit?" Now, one time, some dickhead put the 10 kilo first, and all the reds, we all got a group message text. Who did this shit?
Wow.
So baby powder on the ground, nah, we ain't doing that.
Okay.
Baby oil, same thing. So that's like pretty much it, man. We don't want to get the gym too like dirty and shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe so anybody out there who has a gym, who owns a gym, trying to keep your gym clean, free of baby powder, it might be an idea. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. But people always hit me up like, "Damn, bro, your legs real sweaty." I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's crazy. So squat, bench press, deadlift. Your favorite lift of the three?
In training, squat. Okay. Competition, deadlift.
Okay.
I hate training deadlifts.
So I mean, but you're damn good at it. So
yeah.
So why? So in competition, what's your switch on in competition for you? I know deadlifts is normally like the last lift of all three.
Right.
And for a lot of people, it's like, okay, you got to shit it out the pot at this point. So for you, what's deadlifts for you in the competition?
Everybody looking. the show.
Yeah.
The lights on. People got their camera phones out. I love that. When I see the camera phones come out, I'm like, oh, they looking at me? Okay, cool. You know, like I love it, man. Just that energy, you know.
Yeah.
Some people get nervous when it's that time. And when I was younger, I used to get real anxious. I hated people looking at me. And I'm still getting over it now, you know, like powerlifting kind of broke that shit. Where I'm scared of people looking at me and seeing, you know, what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So now I love it, bro. I go out there, I see it, they call your name, you see your name on the board, you know what I mean? And sometimes I don't even know what's on the bar. You know, Steve calls it.
Yeah.
And such and such kilos. I'm looking at the colors trying to add it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the energy, bro. And you know, squats are just so challenging, but I've always loved squatting. I'm not the best at it, but I love it, though.
Yeah.
It's very challenging. But in training, it's hard to get me super amped up for deadlifts. Because I'm already real calm anyway. You know me, I'm like real chill. So it's like, I don't get super amped or super excited until the lights are on and people looking.
Yeah.
You know, like I've made a 750 pull in the like gym look harder than the 800 plus in the meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
what's up. The one thing that's cool about your personality, and I give you my assessment of it. I think most people that met you might say this. And if you follow my man on IG, you know this too. You don't mind talking your shit, which I like. Right.
Yeah.
But you're very humble at the same time. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that good balance.
Right.
Because I've known you. You've always been, you know, thirsty for knowledge. Always want to get better. You work your ass off. But you also have a confidence, I think, which is necessary in this sport. Really, in any sport, you got to be confident in your capabilities. So, rather than being arrogant, I think I would call this a confidence, an arrogant confidence that I think definitely shows through when you're on the platform. Because when you deadlift, you definitely kind of come into your own. I've watched you compete a few times. I watched through your videos, anyways. I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever watched you in person, but I've watched through your live feeds, and that's what comes through, in my opinion, when you're on the platform deadlifting. You can tell you love it at that point because your body and everything shows it. So that's dope, man. That's dope. So you're an amazing lifter. Anybody who follows you, see you a badass lifter. You've grown in the sport, made a name for yourself as a power lifter. All right. So who is Ronell Leftwich outside of the gym? Like, what are some hobbies you're on? Some things people might know about you that you wish people would know about you. And we talked about this the other day, you know, kind of the pre-interview conversation about people tend to look at athletes of any kind, professional basketball, football, soccer, powerlifting, and they box you into that one category. All right. So what do you think people might be surprised to know about you?
Oh man, I'm a nerd, bro. I love knowledge. I love learning. I'm actually in school, you know, learning Hebrew, learning Arabic, the Middle letter, things like that. So I'm learning all that, you know, just that's fun to me.
Yeah.
Just chilling, learning, reading, getting knowledge. I love it, man. That's always fun to me. Because, you know, when you got to be this big powerlifter guy, lift all this heavy shit, sometimes you want to relax, get your gin, sip on it, pop open a book, and just read. And just chill. And just feed your brain. Because, you know, if your brain is strong, your body is going to react like same way. The same way. Like, you know, we've all seen great athletes, right? Or they could be great. But what they say, oh, they're mentally weak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have that mental edge, that mental strength. That's why we love the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants. You know what I'm saying? They're mentally strong. And even if you look at what they were doing, there was like students in what they did, and they fed this too. So I love just learning, bro, and just let it just translate over.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when all this is done, when I'm done lifting, I'm gonna, you know, still have this. I still got to learn. I still got to be able to teach somebody something.
Yeah.
I, you know, still got to be able to live. So yeah, man, you know, that's honestly, bro, just fun for me and just peace and just relaxing and bringing in some knowledge, bro. That's always fun to me.
Yeah, I think you just did every powerlifter a favor by trumping the image that we're all just dumb meathead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So you mentioned the Hebrew. I think people who follow you and people who know you for a while probably can't help but to notice, you know, a bit of a subtle change in your page over the years.
Right.
There was nothing. It wasn't instant. You could tell it was something you were, and what you just talking about reading and learning more. You could tell that your shift and what I guess it's okay to call it your religion, maybe, or your beliefs, Hebrew beliefs.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
All right. You can tell it was subtle, which means I think you were learning about it as you went, as you come so far. I'm sure there's probably much more to learn about it. What do you think, turn your interest, or what got you interested in that what would you call it? I guess that belief or that religion?
Yeah. For me, it was more just learning more about us as a people and our history. Us as Black people, we go to school and the first thing they teach us is, oh, you came over on boats in the 1600s. What about before then? What were we doing back then?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure our ancestors weren't just swinging from trees and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what were we doing?
Yeah.
So that kind of got me into more of a cultural study and figuring out who we are as a people and as a heritage, and not as a color, but as a real heritage and culture. And I was, luckily I've been able to link up with some great teachers, some great mentors that really pointed me in that right direction. And they did it with love too. You know what I mean? It wasn't no hate, and it was just like, it was very loving how they like did it. Like, okay, this is the like path. And they didn't give me anything. They like challenged me for it. Asked me hard questions. To where it was times when I'm on the phone with them and I'm like, I'm gonna call you back. I sat in the corner for like an hour just listening, just like thinking like, okay, what did he just say to me?
Yeah.
And he really challenged me that much. So I'm like, okay. And it's just thinking outside the box, not believing everything that you're told, but going and getting that knowledge for yourself and you learning it.
Yeah.
Because anyone can tell you anything, but where's the facts? Or it might be multiple opinions on it. Let me get all of those and I'm gonna compare it and see which one makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Criticize everything.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if they just tell you whatever, okay, someone tells me that the sky is purple, I bet. But when I look up, I'm like, nah, that looks kind of blue to me. Yeah. Why is it blue? And start tearing down those layers and really figuring things out. Yeah. And it really helped me out with just life, period, man. Just me dealing with people, different types of people, being at peace with different types of people, things like that. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I know. What do you think that you've learned so far that you've been able to apply to your life to where it's probably been the most influential, or shall I say, it maybe changed you as a person the most? I guess, how would you say you were different as a person now than you were maybe a year or two ago?
Man, balance, man.
Yeah.
Balance. Realizing that everything that someone might see as bad, is it really bad, or is that just their perception of it? Is that their story of me? Because I know what I'm doing. I know, like, I got pure intentions with this. But someone else might see it, and they might write my story differently. So I've learned, okay, how do they see it, and how do I see it? How do I find this median so we can coexist and be at peace?
Yeah.
It's all about balance, man. And even when you go to the Torah, right, in the book of Genesis, right, you see the first thing that was created was light and darkness. But the sun and the moon wasn't created till later. So what's that light and darkness that was, So when you go into actual Hebrew, the word for light is or. The word or, that's where the word aura comes from. It's all linked in. So that word means happiness, upliftment, positivity. The word for darkness is koshek in the Hebrew, which means misery, sadness. It can mean death. Balance was the first thing. So if balance is the root, I got to get balanced.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So it's just kind of me checking me instead of me looking at what he's doing, what she's doing, whatever. I'm checking myself so I can get that balance.
Sounds like a lot of self-awareness and accountability, holding yourself accountable.
There you go.
That's pretty dope. So I guess along with that came, and I don't want to mess it up because we talked about it beforehand. Right. So when people follow your page now, they saw you can go from the barbaric one, which was the IG name, all right, and now you go by, and make sure we know how to pronounce it right. You said Malak.
Kazak.
There
you go.
All right, cool.
Malak Kazak.
So how does that fit into, I guess, the Hebrew studies that you've done, and how did you come about that?
So the word malak means messenger or message. Kazak means strength. So I don't want to just be known as just a strong guy, a strong lifter. I want my message to be strong. I want to be that, strong messenger. You know what I mean? So it's kind of layers to it. And I picked that name because words are so powerful, right? So if that's my name, I got to live up to that. Not just with lifting weights, but in life, period. We all go through shit. We all go through hardships, right? I can't be a little punk and just go in a corner and fold. Your name's Kazak. You are strong.
Yeah.
Get through that shit.
Yeah.
So it kind of had layers to it, to where it's not just lifting, but me in general. And also I can influence others. Yo, be strong. Like, you don't got to lift weights. Just in life, bro. Like, get through your shit. I've been there. Yeah. We've been in the mud before. We can get out.
Yeah. I know it's kind of dope when we're talking about you learning and you being all about trying to feed your brain. And I venture to bet that most people wouldn't imagine, well, I shouldn't say most, because then I'm stereotyping people, but I would venture to bet that a lot of people wouldn't imagine that a power lifter, young power lifter, and that would have damn near a full library in their house. So I'm looking behind you. Yeah. I'm looking behind you. So you've already said you're an avid reader. So of all the books you have right there behind you, is there one that you think probably just, it was the one that just lit a fire in you?
You know what's crazy? It's tough. It's so tough because some of these are in all Hebrew.
Okay.
And some stuff in there I haven't even spoken on yet. It's some deep stuff in there. Like, some of these are actually donated from a library, from a library in a synagogue in Israel.
Wow.
And it actually has writing from rabbis in Israel in there. Some of them were published in 1918, 1917. Wow. Israel wasn't even a nation yet. It says Palestine in there.
Yeah.
So it's some like me, and you can talk off, and I'll tell you how I got those. I'm like, Indiana Jones out here, man. But you know what? Man, it's tough, bro. It is tough, man. Honestly, man, like, just me reading Torah in the Hebrew. And the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible, for those that don't know. Me reading it and setting it in the original language, life-changing.
Wow.
Life-changing, bro. I mean, because just the language itself is just beautiful, man. There's layers in the language.
Yeah, you have me intrigued, because I'm thirst for knowledge too. I like just learning whatever, not necessarily to apply to my life all the time, but just wanting something new to feed on. So you definitely got me intrigued, man. So another thing that I know about you, and you've also posted on your page a few times too, so it's no secret that you're a father. And I know when I first met you, dude. When I first met you, it was a couple conversations in, and you mentioned your daughter, and it was kind of dope because at the time I didn't know you very well. But as soon as you mentioned your daughter, like, you immediately like lit up, and like most people, especially men who have daughters, I think I don't have any, but I think it's kind of a different thing, right? So being a father, raising a girl, especially a young woman, I put it that way, in this society now, what's it been like in terms of being a father? I think you probably have concerns or worries that any parent would have, but at the same time, though, what's the beauty of raising a daughter for you?
Oh man, it changed my life, bro. Like, I was there from the beginning. Like, I held her mother's leg when she was coming out. Like, I watched her come out. I was there. It was weird.
You get lightheaded, did you? Like,
bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. I shed a tear, man.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
It's different. It most definitely makes you look at things differently. It makes you want to treat women differently and really respect them, because they was that at one point. There was that little girl at one point, you know what I mean? It makes you look at things differently. It made me work harder.
Yeah.
It put that fire under my ass to make sure, like, yo, you got to get your shit done. Yeah. It's not about you no more. You have a little youngin that you have that seed that you have to raise. You have to be a part of that person's life, you know? He has to be a good example. He can't be out here doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Because guess what? One day she's gonna find out about it, and she's gonna hear about it, and she's gonna be like, "Damn, Daddy was like that."
Yeah.
You know, like Daddy was bugging. Like, you know.
So has she? How old is she now?
She's 5, bro.
Okay, so at 5, has she checked you on anything yet? Has she been like, Daddy, I don't know about that one? Has she ever caught you and check you a little bit? You be like, oh, you got me.
Yeah. No, I ain't gonna say that. Her mom might might see this. I ain't gonna say that. But, nah, you know what? It was funny, man. I had my do-rag on one day, right? Mm-hmm. And like I'm walking out of the house. She was like, Daddy, that's for inside, not outside. I'm like, for you, I'll take it all. I won't take it off. You know what I mean? Like her little personality is so funny, man. It's crazy. It's cool seeing like them go from being little babies to having their own personality and talking to you about school and their friends and what they did at recess. And it's crazy, man, but it's so dope. Yeah. It's so dope. And, she looks just like me. So I love that. I love that, man. I look at her and I start laughing like, oh, you look just like me. It's crazy.
So in the society we're in now, you and I grew up in an era where, kids played outside, kids rode bicycles. The very first gaming system I remember was Nintendo. And I was like, I was like 8 or 9, maybe when that came out. So for you, you look at her now in today's society, oh man, what's been the most difficult part of parenting for you, a 5-year-old in today's society?
Man, this whole COVID thing, man. My daughter, she's growing up thinking that wearing a mask is normal.
Yeah.
Put on your mask, Daddy. Don't want to get Coronas. And I'm like, man, like I kind of feel bad for her because she doesn't know what it felt like to just go and just be free and just live life and go outside and go to recess with the kids and don't got to worry about temperature checks and thermometers and knowing what the person looked like. Like me, when I'm speaking to people, like I kind of read their lips a little bit. So it's like when it first happened, it was hard for me to really hear people. Because when I was talking to them, I like to kind of see what they're saying too. Yeah. So she has to live life like that without really seeing someone's whole face. You don't know if they're frowning at you, smiling at you. It's a like barrier.
Yeah.
And it's like disconnect, I kind of feel like, so she can reconnect with people. And don't get me wrong, like I understand why we're doing it. I'm not saying that. But it's just the like circumstance of it, like, damn, like I feel bad for all the kids now. Because they don't know what it felt like for us just to be free, going to the store, don't got to worry about masks and the sign on the door and things like that. That's my biggest thing, bro. It's like even just going to like Six Flags or going to amusement parks or hippo hop and Candytopia, all the stuff that she likes. It's a precautionary thing before even going. Then I'm like, do I really want to take it? Is it worth it? You know what I mean? So that's probably my biggest concern is just like that disconnect from people that she's going to have. Yeah. And she's very smart, so I'm pretty sure she's going to make her way through it. But still, bro, it's different. It's just different.
Yeah, funny, I never thought about it that way. That you're right, for kids your daughter's age, maybe younger, this is life for them. She's not gonna remember life before this. I never thought about that. It's crazy, man. So it's kind of a perfect segue. So I kind of want to get your take on it, and and I have to preface this question by saying, me myself personally, I couldn't care less one with the other, but right now in our society, or shall I say in our country, the number one topic for a lot of people is the vaccine. And you got the pro-vaxxers, you got the anti-vaxxers, you got people with the mandate, people against the mandate. So, and then you got people like, you got Kyrie Irving, of course, in the media right now, taking a lot of heat for his stance. You got people feeling like, athletes and celebrities should be advocating one way or the other. So what's your take on it? Not to what have you disclosed whether or not you are not vaccinated, but just what's your take on
man. I don't think people's rights. I don't think people should be, I guess, dictated to do anything to their bodies. You know, I don't think that's for anybody, for any instance, if it's a vaccine or whatever. I don't think people should have that much control over what people do to their bodies, right? Yeah. I just tell people, just do your research, get well learned in it, and do what's gonna be best for you and your family. Yeah. Me personally, I don't, you know, I got family members who got vaccinated. I got family members who aren't vaccinated. Yeah. Whatever they felt was best for them, just do it. Yeah. You know, don't look down or look up to the next person who chose either one. Because we all have our own individual motives on why we're doing it and why we're not doing it. Yeah. So part of it is like, I mean, some people just gotta mind their business with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going up to someone and asking them like, yo, did you get this shot? Did you get that? You got this disease? I'm not doing that. Yeah. So I feel like this kind of is starting to get into people's personal barrier. And that's where things can cause issues, is when it's like now people's personal medical records and people's personal business is starting to be reflected everywhere. Yeah. And I feel like that's where it can cause conflict between people. But me personally, I can get two shits. If you got it, if you don't got it, I'm with you. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just do what's gonna make you happy, man. That's it. Yeah, I'm with you. And I think what it's been interesting for me to watch is the whole thing with COVID from the inception, you know, until now. And, you know, early on with COVID, as we do a lot of times in our country, we found a way to make it a black and white thing, right? And very unfortunate, obviously, but we found a way to do that early on, and then we go through it, and it's affecting everyone, right? And then now I will hope that we're on the backside of it, but who knows how long this thing's going to be this way? It might be our new norm for a while. But I'm watching, you know, headlines from, I think in New York right now, you have a lot of government workers who've been laid off because they refuse to get vaccinated. And I think it's interesting, and I wish that us as people kind of see this now with the pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine people. There's not really race anymore. You see people of all colors on one side or the other. And I think it's interesting, man. I always talk about, in my personal life, I don't mind having this conversation with you right now on the platform, but when it comes to race relations in our country, it's been a tough subject, because I think people kind of get pushed into a corner. I guess my question would be, how do you feel when you see people in this part, in this period of COVID, kind of coming together, you know, for one push, whether it's one side or the other when it comes to the vaccine? Because you think about it, when you watch the people who came and protested at the Nets game a couple of weeks ago for Kyrie, they were a mix of everybody. Yeah. So what do you think was within people, or what do you think about seeing people come together now as one to choose one side or the other? What do you think that stemmed from? Yeah, see, that's one thing. That's kind of, you know, human nature. When we all got the same or we all got the same opposition, we're gonna come together. And whatever issues we have together, we can handle that later. Yeah. But at this moment, because our issues we can't fix right now, but we can handle this right now. Let's put this on the back burner. Let's handle this first. Then we can go back and handle the other issues that we have going on. You know what I'm saying? In war, you can't attack everything at one time. You have to do things decently and in order. Yeah. You know what I mean? So first things first, let's handle this first. Because we can't handle our issues that we haven't spoken about until we handle what's affecting us right now. Yeah. Because it's affecting your kids, you, your mother, your father, everybody. Let's handle this first. Then let's have that honest conversation after that. You know, and that's exactly what I was going with it. So I'm glad you took it there. Exactly what I was going with it is, it's very ironic for me, I feel, when things are kind of peaceful, it seems like we have enough time then to fight about something that really doesn't matter. Right. More strictly about race. But then whenever the country's under turmoil, you take 9/11 when it happened, terrorist attacks, when you watch natural disasters across the country, tornadoes, hurricanes, things like that come,
it's almost like people forget at that point we're different. All right. And we come together right from one comment. And I think for me, myself personally, I just always wish that we could maintain that unity times of peace, which is very ironic. That's when we tend to find most of that discourse is when we should be the most peaceful. You know.
Right. And you know, it's about this too. I feel a lot of it, we need to have that open conversation. We need to be honest about the past, honest about what happened. Mm-hmm. We need to speak on how it's affecting people now. We can't say, you know, I don't want to rub people the wrong way, but 9/11, you know, never forget. Mm-hmm. We have other issues that we can't forget either.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, RIP to everyone who lost, like, I was, you know, affected by that too. You know, my pops in the military, like, you know, like, all that was going on. I was in there. But you know, it comes to a point where we got to be honest with each other and have that talk. It's like if me and you ever had any issue, we gotta go have that talk. Yeah. Like, bro, what you feeling? Let me know how, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. And I gotta take what you told me. I'm like, damn, he feels like that. And just vice versa. It's about communication and not just pushing things under the rug and to the side. We got to have these talks because obviously we haven't talked about it enough. If it's still coming up, you know what I mean? I feel like that honest conversation needs to happen, and hopefully one day it will. But until then, bro, it's just gonna be tough, man. But you know, good people are always going to connect. It doesn't matter where they come from, what they look like, things like that. Real good people are going to always connect. You know what I'm saying? And that can most definitely overshadow any kind of hate or any kind of turmoil that people are going through.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully one day we can have that talk, man. And even if it just starts off small, you know, one thing about powerlifting, I feel like is like really dope is that issues that come up, the powerlifters kind of have that own little community and they talk about it.
I was thinking that exact same thing we were talking because powerlifting has been one of the most, lack of a better term, unified communities I've been around. You know, when you're at a meet, when you're in the gym, when you're training, competing, whatever it is, we're all powerlifters.
Right.
And I've been able to amass some of the best friendships through powerlifting from all walks of life, you know, all races, religions, and everything. And that's one of the dopest things about powerlifting, that community. But go ahead, what you gonna say about it yourself?
Well, yeah, man, it's just so dope because it's so many different types of people in powerlifting. It's a very diverse little world. It's a very sick, nasty, diverse world of powerlifting that we live in. You know what I mean? So it's cool getting different people's opinions on certain things. Some I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But he said it and he's honest and that's what he feels. You know, he didn't mean any disrespect by it, but that's how that man feels, you know? And bro, communication and conversations, I feel like that will heal a lot of wounds.
Yeah.
But people are scared to talk about it because they don't want to step on toes. I feel like people get a little soft.
Yeah.
Sometimes we gotta talk about this shit. If we gotta go in the back and fight, and then when we done, we have a drink together, let's do it.
And I think a lot of people would say communication has been the root of a lot of issues we've had in this country. I myself personally have always told people that a good conversation, a good transparent conversation can solve a lot of problems. Have you saw the new Colin Kaepernick documentary at all?
Not yet. I saw it on Netflix, but I gotta peep it.
Yeah,
it's good.
So it's good.
Okay.
I'm about maybe halfway through it now. But I feel, and I could be wrong, this is maybe me speaking out of turn, maybe speaking for Colin, like he's my boy, but I think what he was trying to get across was trying to communicate his true, where he came from, you know, as a person to make him who he is today, and what his true reason was what he did, you know. So I think communication is big, man. You were talking a moment ago about talking things out. So I'll try to get a lot more involved with and more of an advocate for mental health, especially for men. All right.
For sure.
what do you feel about the importance of mental health for men in general? Excluding race, excluding age, excluding religion,
right?
whatever it is,
But
just
just
mental
men,
health
period.
for men. And then I'm not discounting women. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But just me and my platform, me being a man,
right?
I
Because
recognize,
we can't reach, like, we can't speak for women. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even want to disrespect them by speaking for them because they have their own emotions and they can speak on it. So we can only speak for men. So, you know, hopefully they don't take offense to that. You know what I mean? But like, I'm showing love. Like, I can't speak for the woman. Like, I love hearing a woman's point of view.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning from it. You know what I'm saying? But we can only speak for men. That's what we are. You know?
and the reason I ask men about that, and I try to encourage men, because as a man, I know, you know, it's a lot of things. Like, you grew up in the era that I grew up in, and you just talked a moment ago about people being a lot more soft now. In the era I grew up in, you know, we weren't really allowed to be too emotional or show emotions, right? Or be soft, air quotes, all right?
Right.
So as you've gotten older now, and as you got more, you know, interest in your religion and your beliefs and learning yourself and being more self-aware, have you been able to find that mental health has been more of a focus for yourself? And have you been able to kind of apply any of your learnings or any of your, you know, what have you, as you gotten older?
Yeah, you know what? Younger, dealt with a lot of sorrow, man. Depression is real. It's real. Having them thoughts is real. You know what I mean? Like, when you're young and you're going through shit, that shit is real. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have dealt with that. I know a lot of people in powerlifting have dealt with certain things like that. And I kind of feel like that's a common denominator with a lot of us, is we've had some mental turmoil in the past, and this was kind of a outlet for us, you know. But honestly, man, it's like, I feel like men should talk more.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like men should talk more. Like, if men are having issues with their girl, they have issues with work, financial issues, mental, like whatever it is, we have such big egos. We don't want to talk to our boys about it. You know what I mean? Everything's always cool.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah. We all go through shit. We all take L's. We all do stupid shit. We all need advice. But us as men, we have these big egos, and we don't want to admit to our boy, like, yo, we're having a weak moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of men, we don't have that boy we can call and be like, bro, I'm having a weak moment. Motivate me real quick.
You know, I was having a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago. We were talking about just that we tend to have this thing in our society, in our culture now, where, you know, it's positive vibes all the time, and that's not real life. You know, so people, I feel like people need to be allowed a space to not have positive vibes, but at the same time have somebody there who can support them in those times. And I think you're right. They have someone you can call,
right,
and not necessarily a crowd on their shoulder per se, but it might involve that. You know, who knows? But I do think men need to be more in tune with their emotions and understanding it. So you say when you were younger. So how do you feel like? Well, what are some things you think you may have done as a youngster? All right. When you didn't know how to interpret what you were feeling or handle those issues that you may have been going through, how do you think you may have acted out then versus how you would handle things now?
I was outside, man.
Yeah.
I was outside. You know, it's like, I had this conversation with, you know, one of my boys, man. I'm like, bro, we did some wild shit. Like, why? How are we alive right now?
Yeah.
You know, it was times when, like, I came home and, like, I remember I was talking to my moms about this. This is my first time talking to her in about almost 10 years since this happened. We never brought it up. I came home. I'm not gonna talk about the incident, but I came home and my hand was busted. That's why this knuckle was kind of big. I had a little incident. And I came home. I took my, like, top shirt off. I had, like, white tee under it, blood all over it. My hand is all messed up. And it's Sunday morning. My mom's is, like, up getting ready for church.
Baby.
and I'm coming in underage, smelling like all kinds of alcohol and liquor. It's coming through my pores, and blood on my shirt, and my hand is bust open, and it's just blood. It's still like, it was like wrapped up, but blood was still coming out. She looked at me, come in, and went over there. She washed my hand off, didn't ask what happened, none of that shit. She said, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, I'm cool. Go upstairs. And that look in my eyes was like, go upstairs.
Yeah.
You know, I was like maybe like 19, 20 back then, something like that. But man, it's things like that, bro. It's like you really start witnessing growth right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And situations like that, it's like you're going through things and you don't know how to really express what you're going through, so you act out. You know, you're acting out. You don't got no one to talk to. If you talk to them, they're gonna either brush you off or whatever it is. But when you're going through shit, you act out. We gotta just communication, man. That's the biggest thing I've learned, bro. Is communication and speaking and having those friends around you that's not going to judge you for talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would hate for one of my friends to do something crazy because they feel like they couldn't talk to me. Mm-hmm. I might not have the answer, but yo, vent to me. Let me know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where I just thank the Most High that I'm here because I was acting out, bro.
Yeah.
I was doing some like stupid shit, and I was glad I'm here, man. You know, and just day by day. You know, I'm not gonna say I was the toughest guy out now, but I did some like stupid shit out here.
Yeah. But I think you just expressing that, you know, sometimes growth is being able to understand, number one, triggers, or maybe even for me myself, growth was me understanding things that would trigger me that I didn't understand why. Or, you know, or having, I know I was telling a gentleman earlier today, a couple hours before we got on today, that there's a difference between having a bad day and being depressed. And a lot of people don't know the difference. And so when you're dealing with depression, and I spoke about it on my page, I try to be an advocate for it. When you're dealing with depression, it comes in different forms for different people. I know for myself, it can for me, it can happen just like this. I can get up in the morning, I can make myself breakfast, I can play some music in the background while I get dressed and be great, get in my car and drive 2 blocks, and something will just hit me, and my whole energy is shift, right? And I remember for most of my life, and still occasionally now, that stuff would happen, and I would just be like, man, what's going on? I never really took time to like become self-aware. But once I started realizing how much mental health was important, and surrounding myself with people, like you said a minute ago, with people who you can talk to and be yourself with, I became a lot more aware of what was causing issues and how to getting better at coping. And I tell anyone who's dealing with any type of issues like that, it's almost like going to AA meetings. You know, every time you go to an AA meeting, well, I've never been, but whenever I watch it on TV, all right.
Right.
But I've always heard people say, you know, every time you go, they always say, I'm so and so, you know, I'm an alcoholic or I'm a drug addict, because you're always that thing, but you're always continuously trying to get better. And so for me, when it comes to mental health, I'll never be completely well mentally. I don't think any of us will, but I have to get up every day and make a conscious decision to, you know, to work on it. And I think, and people like yourself, who I think have become aware of that, it's all about that knowledge you mentioned earlier. You're constantly feeding yourself with knowledge of just how to be a better person, and it all comes together. It all comes together, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, bro. It's like being honest with yourself might be the hardest thing. Might be the hardest thing. I feel like people lie to themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I do it too. You know, like people lie to themselves all the time. Like they might, if we can be honest with ourselves, because that's the most hardest thing.
Yeah.
Because if you can be honest with yourself and tell yourself, like, yo, get your stuff together, you slacking, is different from someone else saying it. Yeah. If you check yourself, no one else got to say it. Because if someone else says it to you, you're going to catch your attitude.
Yeah.
But you should have been told yourself that. Like, you know, you knew you've been messing up. Get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're going to take that out on this person for being a real friend and not being a fucking yes man and telling you, brother, I love you, but you fucking up. When if anybody out there, if any friend has ever told you that, keep them around.
I feel you. And it kind of tied all into powerlifting, of course. That's kind of the premise of this platform is athletes and people trying to keep it all together in terms of social matters and everything. But I think that's a common thing you'll find when it comes to powerlifting. It's a very honest community, and you have to be. So I want to touch on, you compete on the Steve Goggins. Steve Goggins, Google him. I'll just put that way. All right. Steve Goggins. One of the best powerlifters ever to do it. And I started my career under Steve. Still have great, tremendous respect for Steve. And a few people who knew that about me have questioned, why did I don't like to use the term left Steve, but why did I move away from his team? And I always tell people it was no other reason than just logistics. Like I'm the type of lifter, I do better in person, right? And there was a 2.5 hour difference between living in Alabama and then Steve in Georgia. So that was the only thing about it. I felt like I couldn't get everything Steve could offer me remotely. That's really what it boiled down to, and he and I, we talked, soon after I moved on. I hope he understood that. I think he understood that. And that was all it was. But I want to touch on Steve because he's that way. He's honest. He's brutally honest. So you talk about someone when it comes to powerlifting, how important is it, do you think, is to have a coach who is like a Steve, who is brutally honest, who's going to tell you, that's some bullshit?
It's so important, man. It's so important because we're gonna bring it back to power because you already know me and you can build. I forgot we was even on Zoom, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just talking to my brother. We just thinking it. But bring it back to powerlifting, right? You need somebody honest around you. That squat was high as hell.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a PR or something I've never done before, bruh. That shit was high. That wasn't good. Don't count it. Don't even post it.
Yeah.
You know how Steve is. Post that. That was nowhere near where you need to be.
I remember one session with Steve. I did something, and I racked weight, and I was already pretty certain it was iffy. And I turned around and looked at him. He was like, "I don't post that
one." But see, we all need people like that here, man, because we're gonna get that tough judge in these big competitions because when we get to like certain levels, these judges don't play no games.
Yeah.
No games at all. There's no gifts.
Yeah.
So you gotta earn that squat. You gotta earn that bench. You gotta earn that deadlift. The knees soft, let your man know. Hey, if your knees soft in y'all deadlift, let your man know.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Be real with your man. Be like, bro, that was strong and all that, but
you gotta be honest.
You don't like your knees out.
So you like most of us, I know myself, when I first started, I didn't have a coach. I was just kind of doing my own thing. And to be completely honest with anyone who's ever followed my career, the way that I start, I got online, I Googled powerlifting programs, and I took one offline. It was a cookie cutter one. So start the same way. So for you, what was the biggest difference from trying to learn it yourself? I'll say this: hiring a coach. What did that mean for your career going forward?
It was a game changer. It took me from being just a strong dude, if you see me in the LA Fitness, okay, that's a strong guy in LA Fitness, to being one of the strongest guys pound for pound in the world. You can say that. Like us as powerlifters, man, we gotta talk our shit sometimes. We are some of the strongest people on the planet pound for pound. Let's say it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like the top level powerlifter can't go to the LA Fitness and just not get looked at. The weight's not even fit on the bar. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's taking you from being that little small fish, that big fish in a small pond, to taking you to like Warriors Island, to Mount Olympus, where the gods are literally clashing.
Yeah,
that's how I look at the Kerns and the showdowns. These are the gods of powerlifting clashing.
Yeah,
respect all these dudes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta just show love to them. We all know who the best is right now. We get it.
Yeah.
What about everybody else?
Yeah.
These dudes are some dogs, bro. Like, it's some dogs. I see some dudes at 220, damn near benching 600. Like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a dog. Why aren't they getting love like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, when we go to the NBA, LeBron doesn't get all the love.
Mm-hmm.
What about everybody else? They get love too.
I tell people
it should be the same way.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you know, there's no scrubs in the NBA.
Nah,
right?
At all.
And it's the same thing when it comes to powerlifting, especially once you reach the elite level. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are no elite scrubs. And I tell guys who are chasing the elite level, if you power lift, if you made it a conscious decision to put your body through what it is to be a power lifter, you're already not a scrub anymore.
Right.
The only difference between you and these guys who you talk about at the top of the list right now is experience, time in, and just work. You know,
That's it.
So get ready for a competition, like the showdown, right? Spent what 12 weeks prepping.
About 12 weeks.
12 weeks prepping, beat your body to hell and back. Come time to weigh in and then sit down and chill out. So you talk about maybe, I'm assuming you probably weighed in the morning, more than likely. All right, so they got 24 hours to pretty much kick back and chill. What do you do to relax? Music to listen to? What do you do to sit back and relax?
People who follow me, I'm a hip hop head, man.
Okay, and that's why I was going with it. I was gonna get to your music selection because you definitely you post some stuff. I'll be like, all right, let me find that real quick. Let me.
Yeah, I'm a hip hop head, man. I love hip hop, man. I love the lyrics. I love the competitive nature of it. You know, when you got two rappers on the same song, you can tell they're trying to kill each other. Like, I'm gonna have the best verse in this song. Like, I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, even just having certain beats, like the real slow, soulful beats, but with some dope rhymes over it. Like, I love that. You know, like that's how I kind of calm down. You know, I might turn on some hip hop, man. You know, I like West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher, Conway, Ransom, Surf, I'll Be Out. There's certain guys that I listen to that really get me in that little chill mode, give me the mode to really kill something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I normally do. Or, you know, if I want to watch something, put on some battle rap. I love battle rap.
Yeah.
You know, Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna power up. You know,
I was gonna say, man, anybody who's watching right now, if you don't follow this man for no other reason, his music selection. So when I used to train with him, we trained together. So if come in the gym, you know, we choose our own music.
Right.
I can't take the number of times that he's chosen a song. He's gonna hear this for the first time now. That he's chosen a song and he's getting ready for a lift. And I'm over there on my phone with my Shazam app, like, I got that one. Cause dude, he always bring out something I never heard before. And it's like, okay. So yeah.
You know what it is, bro? Like every Friday, I might stay up till midnight on Fridays on purpose just to see what albums drop.
Yeah.
I'm still that guy. Like I was the guy going to Best Buy, waiting in line for that, you know what I'm saying, Snoop Dogg album.
Yeah.
Like I still got books of CDs from back in like the 90s and early 2000s, you know, things like that. I've always been really connected with music. I just love music. You know, it really calms me down. It really keeps me at peace. So, you know, you can learn something from like music. You know what I mean? Now it's at the point to where I'm listening and I'm like, yo, whoever mastered this song did a damn good job. Like, it sounds so crispy and smooth. I'm like, yo, they did good. I'm like, is that harps in the background? Like, damn, like that's crazy. Like, I just love it, man.
All right, so now we come to the day of the meet. All right, you cooled off the whole thing. Do you have like one particular go-to song that, like, I mean, when you're on deck, you standing right next to the chalk bowl, you wrapped up, you strapped up, right before you take your headphones off, do you have one song that always take you there, or you're like, okay, I'm about to go ahead and fuck shit up?
Every meet changes.
Just whatever you feeling that day.
Every meet changes.
Okay.
Because as I grow, my ideas of what I like as music grows. Like certain things I listened to when I first started might have been some real angry music. I'm not angry anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm not really going to listen to angry shit. Or I might be in a little lovey-dovey mood. I might put on some fucking Alicia Keys or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It all depends on that day. You know what I mean? But as of right now, man, Griselda is like one of the biggest things, man. Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, Conway, those guys, that's pretty much my go-to right now when it comes to like, I'm about to fuck something up.
Yeah.
I throw on one of those dudes, man.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. I know, yeah, I mean, because I have my one hype songs, always my go-to. But I listened to a culmination of stuff before. But right before, I shouldn't say that one. I think I had two.
You had that Phil Collins for a while.
Phil Collins was the one. Now, the Phil Collins, like
that Phil Collins, bro.
And it's funny because I remember the first time coming over to train with you guys, I turned it on. And everybody in the gym was like, the fuck? Right? and as time went on, I had to get to the point where I didn't mind getting the side out. I turned it on because people always be like, what's going on? But that song for me, dude, like, if you listen to the words of the song and try to cipher it, number one, it's kind of an interesting cipher. But outside of that, of course, if you're in that moment, you ain't listen to the words too tough for real. Right. It was the build up, and the way that song builds up, exactly how my adrenaline would build up for a lift. It's real subtle. It's we just getting there, and then when the beat drop in that song, is kind of the same way it happens with me when I grab the bar. It's like, okay, now it's time. And that was it for me. It was that one. And then Dreams and Nightmares. Like Dreams and Nightmares is one of the ones, it's like probably one of the forever hype songs. That might, like, when Meek did that one, he probably made one for the ages.
That's a classic. Bro, that's a classic, bro. Like, you know what though? Here's what's funny, man. I remember my first time watching Kimberly Wofford Train. She put that on. And seeing her face just snap into focus like that, I was like, because she's one of my favorite lifters to watch, period. I love watching Kimberly Wofford lift, you know what I'm saying? So like me watching her train, being able to watch that, I was like seeing her just crack jokes with me and kick it and chill. And then when it's time for that set and that song came on, her eyes switched, everything changed up, and she's got that laser focus. I'm like, yo, that's different. Yeah. It takes a while for me to kind of get out of my little goofy mode and kind of get serious and shit. But for her, that was dope. I love seeing that, man. So that's a classic. I think Meek slept on, bro. I like Meek Mill, man. Yeah, he kind of do weird shit on Twitter sometimes, man.
Yeah,
but you know,
if you leave him on wax, as we old school say, on wax,
right? Keep it on air.
He's good. You put a phone in his hand and give him a social media platform, he'll disappoint you every now and then.
You know what? If you think about it, a lot of rappers from back in the day, I feel like they might have disappointed me back in the day if they had a Twitter.
I'm gonna say something, man, and people would not like hearing this. I think one of the rappers from the past, I think his legacy lives on the way it does now because we did not have social media, and it's only because now hear me out. You might agree with me on this one. And it's only because I've done a little bit of research on him beyond the surface of his image. And I'm pretty sure if people are gonna watch this, they might come attack me, God knows what. But I think it's good that Tupac didn't have social media.
I was just about to say that. Yes, yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I'm gonna leave it at that to keep everybody out.
Because if you look at some of his interviews that don't really get that much play, imagine this man tweeting that.
Yeah, he would. You know, Pac was iconic in his own right.
Yeah, for sure.
But like most of us, there's no perfect cool dude in the world. Pac has corny attributes too. I hate to say it, and I think social media may have highlighted those a little bit more than people want to admit. But still, Pac lives on to ever, give it to him. But yeah. All right, so
it's you know what? I'm gonna say this one thing about Pac too. Okay, so the only reason I don't have Pac in my top 5 is because I feel like he had the same flow on every song. I feel like you could take his vocals and put it on any beat and it's gonna sound the exact same. And that's my only, as far as rapping with him. Don't get me wrong, great artist. I love Pac, but that's my only thing. When people say he's the best rapper, I'm like, if we talking rapping,
dude. Now people gonna kill us in this interview when we talk about this.
Bro, it is. Steve's gonna elbow drop me because Steve loves Pac.
So I think most recently, I forget what artist it was or which interview it was. it may have been Vlad TV, whoever it was, someone was talking about just that. How can you say something like, even you can even apply to basketball, like talking about LeBron or people like that. How can you compare people in this era versus that era? Because people, you progressively get better. Like people in anything you do, you get better. And you can't deny that people who rap today rap better than some of, if not most of the guys from that era, because hip hop was still so young as it is now. So back then people were still learning it. And lyrically, I mean, I don't know, like a few people who we call some of the greats, you know, I'm just gonna say that, but
some of them are, I feel like some of them might be pioneers of eras, so we don't want to disrespect them. So
that's a good way to put it. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? They're pioneers of certain eras. Now we have a new era now where people are going to put the Kendricks, put the J. Cole's, put these other guys. But someone else might be, oh no, I got Nas, I got Jay, I got Pun, I got Big L, I got this. Then you got the other, oh, I got Big Daddy Kane, and I got, so it's like different eras as you go.
Exactly.
And these youngins now, I don't know what they saying now. You know, but it's like, but it's always change as you know.
But you know, I do think if you want to say Pop was maybe one of the most influential rappers of all time, okay, I give him
that.
Give him that.
For sure, man. I feel like Pac is always going to be like a Mount Rushmore type of dude.
Yeah.
Always, because of what he did for the game.
Yeah. So actually, this kind of, we're gonna kind of build off Pac for a second, because something else is kind of in the news right now. So there's no secret that that Jada Pinkett Smith, all right, that she's always had a thing for Pac. She's never made any bones about it. So, what's your take on the Jada Pinkett Smith thing right now? What do you think about it?
All right. So I'm going to need you to kind of feed me some of this info because, So
essentially, and that's why reading is key, is crucial. We all heard about her, what did she call it? Her entanglement, right?
Yeah.
It was last year. They kind of didn't go very well. Put Will in a pretty awkward situation.
That was awkward, bro.
And then most recently she did an interview, and I forget who the interview was with. But the headline to the interview read, and I'm paraphrasing, Jada Pinkett Smith talks about how difficult it is to, I think she said, keep things interesting in the bedroom or not be bored in the bedroom. But essentially, when you read the article, she was more or less talking about, how important it is, going back to what we talked about earlier, communication, how important it is for two people to communicate, to make sure but it just, she just always keeps on saying things that put Will in a very precarious situation. I have to put it that way. So.
Man, I feel bad for Will, man, because Will seems so cool, bro. Like Will seems like that cool old people to hang out with, have a drink with. He keeps getting put under the bus, man. Like, I know, right? Why doing Will like that?
I told someone, I said, listen, that's interesting, man. I don't know.
It is, and it's like, man, now you can't say too much now, but I'm gonna try to say it without us getting canceled. The voice of certain people now, okay, everybody doesn't deserve a voice. No. Everyone doesn't need a public voice.
All right,
put it like that.
All right, I agree.
Because everybody can speak their mind, cool. But some people, we don't need to know about your personal shit that you got going on.
Yeah.
We love your movies. You're talented. Keep doing your thing. And I mean, I love Set It Off. That was a jam.
I get it, right? So I'll say this, and I'll parallel social media to this. We've always heard you should never meet your hero, right? We've never heard that before. I've always said you should never meet your hero. I think social media has allowed all of us, many of us, to virtually meet our heroes.
Yeah.
And so you think about, without social media, without that, because social media essentially bridged the gap between celebrities and regular people. I call us regular people.
Right.
Before it was always that mystique. It was always that like I can't really touch it. But now you feel like people because you're getting their firsthand thoughts, or so you think you are. And I think a lot of us are meeting our heroes, so to speak, and it definitely taints the way we.
It's disappointing, bro. It's so disappointing. Like I was having this conversation with somebody, man. Like my pops loved Janet Jackson back in the day, and my mom's knew it. He ain't meeting no Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
she don't want him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But we got access to whoever we want to DM.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Right back.
So let me ask you this then. All right, let me ask you this. So, and by the way, there's a documentary about to come out now of Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake's halftime performance and the whole thing about that.
That was classic. That was a classic moment.
That's going to be an documentary.
Yo, in my childhood, that was a classic moment in my. That was like porn, childhood. Man. That was like porn. Bro, that was the first areola. That was the first famous areola I've seen, and I was hyped. Like a little, fishy kiss, man.
So funny question. So you just mentioned how back in the day your dad had a crush on Janet Jackson, essentially, but your mom didn't care, right? She's a celebrity. Right. Why do you think it's okay for a man or a woman to express interest in a celebrity crush, right? But they can't say that Susan down the block, or that Matthew has a nice body. What's the difference? What do you think the difference in that is? Do you think it's because you can't touch the person, or per se you can't?
Right, because they're so accessible. Matthew down the block, she can drive down the block.
Yeah,
she can walk down the block. Matthew might think the same thing.
Yeah,
Janet Jackson ain't living on the same block. So it's different barriers to where it's like it's gonna have that separation.
Yeah.
But Matthew with the abs on the corner,
it's a little different.
He's right there.
I feel you.
He's right there, man. So us as men, that's gonna hit the ego too, man. Oh, that's gonna hit the ego.
And that's what I was going with it, man. And I'm not gonna go down that path with male egos and all that. But,
right.
But yeah, I've always wondered, because I've always said in relationships, if me and my girl watching television and someone comes across the screen and she's like, okay, he's handsome. It's like, all right, cool, But I don't need to hear it too many more times.
Yeah, that's it. If I hear that, and then if I go on Instagram and you follow this guy and you like his shirtless pic, okay, we gotta talk at dinner.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
We gonna have to talk over these damn lamb chops.
But I think it goes both ways, though. I think it goes both ways. I think it's the same for women, because I tell men this all the time. We in a relationship. I know me myself personally. You move different in a relationship on social media.
For sure.
When it's out of respect for your woman. So I'm sure if I'm dating someone, it's like this. If my woman follows other people, other men, it doesn't really bother me. All right. It shouldn't. Right. And the same, and I don't think my woman cares if I follow other people, but I am conscious of what I like and what I don't like. And it's not so much I like it like I want it. It's just I was a single man. It's like, okay, cool. Double tap, keep it pushing.
Boom.
Yeah, right. But now you're cognizant of the message that they could probably send. And so I do think with social media, people sometimes lose sight of that. It can be detrimental.
Here's another Hebrew, I guess, thing here. Shalom. Peace. Keep the peace at home. If you're not double tapping that picture, it's gonna keep peace at home.
Yeah.
Just blink twice.
Yeah.
Like it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna tell you what's funny. So like with me and my girl, we had a conversation early on in our relationship. Because I was doing just that. I was just liking stuff I never thought about before. And she brought it to my attention. I was like, I never thought about that. But I see, I see how it came across. And when we care about somebody, you respect the person, you move a little different. But you're right. And I tell people what's interesting about social media and likes. People scroll through, and there's something in our psyche that says I have to like it, like I have to double tap it physically.
Yeah.
They can't, like you just said, they can't do just the blink real quick. They gotta actually like it. Right. Yeah. And I don't know what that is, man. But Some people are just that way, bro. And I've seen it tear up relationships and families, but nothing to hit no there.
Yo,
So
sometimes you got to keep your thumbs safe. Like lock them thumbs up. You don't got to double tap everything.
Exactly.
She knows that's a nice picture. You are one like out of 2,000. She won't notice you, my brother. Exactly. It's all good. Just like it in your head, but not like it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So think about this. Talking about more of a social matter. So I saw you had your cup earlier. Your drink of choice. What's your drink of choice, brother?
Oh man. Okay. All right. So Johnny Walker. Okay. Johnny Walker Black or Johnny Walker Double Black. That's my jam. If I'm celebrating something, I'm gonna get that Johnny Walker Blue. Mm-hmm. That's only for celebrations. You know what I mean? If I'm just like whatever, I like gin. I like gin. So it's between gin, Johnny Walker. If it's some Crown around, I roll with the Crown. Hennessy is overrated.
I agree 100%. Well, I can't say overrated, but
you like the Henny?
Sorry. So my drink is vodka. I've always been a vodka drinker.
Okay.
More specifically, Ciroc, and I say Ciroc probably first. I do like Belvedere.
I was just about to ask you that. A lot of people sleep on Belvedere. A lot of people go to Goose before going to Belvedere.
And the thing was,
I like Belvedere, man.
I remember an era, man, when Belvedere was the thing. Like everybody was popping Belvedere, right? And it kind of faded off, man. So yeah, but you mentioned gin, so I'll give you a good one for gin. And this is when I'm in that mode. I'm gonna sit back, something real refreshed, like a spring afternoon type vibe. Something real chill. I do a gin, more specifically Hendrix. I like Hendrix gin, and I do a Saint Germain liqueur. All right, it's a liqueur you have to find the most. Some bars have it, a lot of people don't. But Hendrix with Saint Germain, and of all things, a cucumber. Dude, it's the most refreshing. Like I'm telling you, you if you close your eyes, you'll swear you're in the Caribbean with the breeze blowing through your hair. It's like that.
The hair that we don't have, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, man.
Nah, that's one thing, man. Cucumbers and gin, people sleep on that, man. That's a good combination, man.
That's a mix.
That's a good combination.
So what's next for you, bro? What's next for you as a competitor? Where are you going next? I mean, just had the showdown. All right.
Right.
Right now it's off season for a lot of people, but things about to pick back up. All right.
Right.
What are you looking for next? I do know from being around Steve, he's not big on chasing records. So without the idea of chasing records, what are some goals that you would have set for yourself? What do you want to see happen before you decide to hang them up one last time?
You know what? Records are meant to be broken, right? So I kind of think about things a little deeper too. So when the word powerlifting comes up, Ronell's name needs to come up. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. I'm not the most popular guy right now, whatever it is. I'm not even chasing that. But I want to be able to motivate people who can connect with me, relate to me. Mm-hmm. And when they hear powerlifting, Ronell Leftwich, he was dog. He kept real. He stood on his 10 toes, didn't fold for nothing. Like, that's him. Yeah. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Not necessarily records or numbers. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want to smoke with everybody. I don't care. I don't care if you beat me. I want to smoke.
I feel you.
All of it. But when it's all said and done, man, records meant to be broken.
Yeah.
And the people who we looked at, in that golden era, it's a new golden era. I think Joe Sullivan actually posted this, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. He said, this is the golden era of powerlifting right now.
Yeah. Never thought about it.
I'm with him on that.
I never thought about that way. You're right. When the Ed Cohens were coming through, Steve Goggins were coming through, they didn't realize they were living in their golden era. And so right now we're living in that era, and you're right, man. And I feel honored to be, my little corner of this era is gonna be, hopefully gonna be mentioned at some point. But
hold on. Before you even go, you got to get your flowers. That's one thing. I used to get frustrated when you're at that level and you're not getting the love that you should get.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about giving people their flowers. Bro, you top 5 of all time at 275. What the fuck? Why are you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
You know what I'm saying? Like, are we like some of y'all best 275 lifters can't touch this dude's best total?
Yeah, I
If we
appreciate
keeping
it,
it
man.
real, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's real, bro.
I will say I do think that part of what's gonna make what might, I don't use the word taint, but part of what's gonna maybe hinder my legacy, if you want to call it that, is I did start late in the game. And so a lot of the guys who are on top of a lot of people's lists have a little more longevity. They were around a lot longer. You know, I accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. It doesn't take away from what I accomplished, but I do think longevity is definitely something that has to be recognized. And I think that's probably why I get overlooked a little bit in some conversations. But at the same time, I also know I get recognized, where I should be. So I never really thought much about it, but I definitely appreciate that, man. I mean,
bro,
I appreciate it.
From like someone else who's also overlooked. Like, you can even look back. Remember when I posted up, it was a while ago, my top 5 favorite powerlifters?
Yeah.
And you was in there?
Yeah.
That wasn't because you my boy, now because I really enjoyed watching you lift.
I appreciate
it. You know
what
I'm saying? And it's like certain things, bro, like I love the underdog. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The one who everyone's going for, that's cool. But the guy who's wrecking shit, and he's an underdog, come on, man. We got to give people their flowers when when they're in that moment, give them their flowers. But that shit can be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to give people their flowers, bro. So I most definitely got to give you your flowers, man. If no one else does, I'm going to do it,
I appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate
it. Sure.
But yeah, in terms of you and your legacy, brother, I'm going to tell you what I think I see for you, man. For people who don't know this young man, once again, Ronell Leftwich, I see you going a long way. I definitely think you have a lot more in the tank. I'm excited to see the next few years for you, how it's going to pan out for you, bro. Definitely follow this man. Again, Ronell Leftwich. His IG handle will be in the caption. I'm excited for you, bro. 2022 is going to be upon us before you know it. We'll see what's going to happen.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. I'm in Miami in January for the Hybrid Showdown.
Okay.
I'm going to spend the block on Florida the very next month. Going to Tampa, Battle of the Bay. The very next month. So I'm going to do sleeves in January. I'm going to do wraps in February.
That's going to be crazy, dude. You're going to have a crazy wraps total.
That's gonna be nice.
That's gonna be
it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. And then hopefully I get that invite back, to the showdown. And, spin the block on that one. And for right now, those are my 3 meets that I have planned out. If anything, you already know what powerlifting, where your body feels, life, anything can happen. So anything can change. But as of right now, that's what's next. Honestly, but just focus on me right now, man. Just focus on just getting better.
Yeah.
And just every competition, every meet, just improving and getting better, man. And that's it. And not losing myself in this shit. It can happen.
Oh, I
it
see it
can
happen all the time.
Happen. For sure. And just staying solid, just staying me, man, and just keep going.
That's
it, bro. For sure.
Well, Ronell, man, definitely glad to have you in the Colosseum with us today. Chat with us for a while. Again, everyone, go follow this young man. His handle will be in the caption. We'll be following up with you. Maybe this time next year we can get back on again and see how things go, man. See how everything panned out for you. So definitely, again, I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man, appreciate you. And look, next time we gotta do it in person.
Oh, no doubt.
Yo, I'm gonna get this man some drink. I'm gonna get this man lit. Y'all gonna want to. We're gonna have some fun, man. We're definitely gonna have some fun with this one, man.
Definitely appreciate it. Well, all right, Ronell, man. I appreciate you, bro. We'll catch up.
Appreciate you, brother.
Say less.
All right, cool, man. Peace. Oh yeah.